Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the session. I think we have started here. So, Tony, over to you if you want to do a bit of an intro while we wait for maybe a few potential more joiners as well over the next few minutes.
Certainly. Thank you, Richard. Welcome to everyone. Just to do a bit of an introduction, Wynleigh International Certification Services is offering these master classes, as we call them, talking on different topics as they occur to us, familiarizing interested parties with subjects related to ISO standards, the process of certification, and the complexities that underpin that. There's little information in the market about the certification processes, and so people are often misdirected and interpret things that may be incorrect, and we aim to rectify that just by sharing information with these regular updates. So welcome and thank you for joining us. I hope that you will join us again in the future. It costs you nothing except your time, which I know is valuable, but we hope to keep you informed between our newsletters and, of course, these regular presentations. Just a bit of background on myself. We are going to talk today on a very specific topic. It is regulated in a way, so there are protocols that have to be followed, and the intent is to make you aware of what those are so that you can make informed decisions on if you choose to transfer or which certification bodies you're with, that they are treating you correctly and delivering the outcome that you're looking for. So firstly, just a bit of detail in terms of Wynleigh itself. We're a SANAS accredited certification body. So I lead an organization that's built on governance, impartiality, and credibility. Wynleigh is an accredited certification body which is published on the SANAS website. We are facility C107. What that tells you is that we're accredited to ISO IEC 17021 Part 1, Part 3, as well as ISO 27006. What that allows for, it gives us a mandate to certify against the International Organization's standards 9001 for quality management systems, ISO 14001 certification of environmental management systems, and ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety management systems. These three standards are probably the best known and most used of all of the ISO management system standards. Gaining a lot of traction is ISO 27001. We also are accredited to offer certification of that standard, which looks at information management security. So the management systems that deal with information security, be they technical or otherwise, are governed under that particular standard and associated legislation. And SANAS mandates us through our accreditation to issue certificates in that regard as well. Who is SANAS, you might ask? The South African National Accreditation System is a Tier 1 accreditation body, part of the International Accreditation Forum, meaning that it is a full signatory of the International Accreditation Forum's multilateral agreement, giving recognition to its capabilities across other Tier 1 accreditation bodies, such as the United Kingdom's UCAS, the German DAX, and various others. I'm not going to run through them, just to indicate that the recognition is through the participation and full membership of the International Accreditation Forum. As a certification body, our aim, our purpose, our desire is to help you, our clients, grow great companies. And in so doing, we are trying to match our service with the levels of excellence that you are trying to achieve in terms of your management system standards that you've implemented and the business processes that comply to those. Now, you've obviously heard of the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, but you may be wondering who the heck IAF is, or the International Accreditation Forum, as it's known. If you've only just learnt about them, they're busy changing their name, so watch this space. But the fact is that the IAF is a world association of conformity assessment accreditation bodies. Certification bodies are more correctly known as conformity assessment bodies, and the accreditation bodies are those who audit the 17021 standards to ensure that the conformity assessment bodies are performing correctly. And on more detail, the primary function of IAF is to develop a single worldwide program of conformity assessment, which reduces risk for you, the businesses that use these services, and of course the customers that receive the products and the services from organizations that are certified. And that's where this process plays a significant role on an international basis. Accreditation assures the users of these services that the certification auditors are competent, impartial, that the entire process of certification remains objective and impartial. And the IAF members represent 83 countries, typically government accreditation bodies, as is SANAS in our country, and other industry associations. Now, I want to draw to your attention the fact that there are two key services that they offer, apart from this general accreditation idea of discussing and invoking rules for the accreditation bodies around the world. IAF provides a service called IAF Search, which is a global website holding a database of accredited certified organizations. This means that a certificate that is from an accredited certification body as a full member of the IAF, their certificates will be published on this IAF Search database. And anyone anywhere in the world using the internet can then go onto that facility and identify who the company has used as a certification body, whether it is accredited, and their certificate and all their details will be published there. The second service that they offer, and these are very important for us, are the publishing of mandatory documents. Now, these mandatory documents are guidelines for the accreditation bodies to use in their accreditation activities, and for the certification bodies like Wynleigh to adhere to as well. So we don't only get audited against the 17021 standard like you get audited against your management system standards. We also get audited to the IAF mandatory documents requirements to ensure that the practices that we use in certification, as well as those used by the members of IAF, the accreditation bodies themselves, are uniform, are properly implemented to show the credibility that organizations around the world are looking for. Lastly, we, as a certification body, have tied our certification activities and the audits that we conduct to a risk-based approach. Now, every certification body is required to perform in that way. However, we've made it a little more regular in that we are willing to act on your behalf to audit the activities, products, services, and arrangements that your insurer may be insuring you against. So, for example, if you have professional indemnity cover, that means that your services are being controlled in such a way as to offer your customers indemnity against poor decision-making or inappropriate actions from a professional perspective. Now, if you look at ISO 9001, it is a standard for management systems, and its requirements then would underpin your professional conduct and give assurance in terms of the quality of that service. And therefore, our audit is looking at not only how you do that, but we're able to, through our risk assurance service, refer back to your insurer so that we can engage with them and be directed to the activities, products, services, etc., that they want us to look at. But also, more importantly for you, giving them feedback means your insurance premium can be positively impacted. So just going on to the next slide, my background is one of being involved in assurance, governance, and risk for about 30 years now. I started out my career working in the world of mechanical engineering, and it was there that I ran into ISO standards and liked the idea of precision and exactness that are promoted by standards and how they resonate with the principles and ideals of mechanical engineering. And my world at that stage was very much formed by that mindset. Since initially getting involved back in the 1980s in these activities, late 80s, I've gained experience not only in South Africa or in Africa, but also in Europe. I've worked in America briefly as well. So I understand how these standards are applied across multiple business sectors. And I'm also familiar with a range of different ISO standards. I still am very operationally bound. Some of the people online might recognize me as conducting audits on them. I'm still a registered auditor and perform audits as part of the service that we offer from Wynleigh. Obviously, when I'm conducting audits, I cannot be part of the remaining process of certification where the decisions are made as to the process that was followed. We also, as an organization, offer excellence through stewardship audits, and these are looking at biosecurity, particularly for organizations that are applying the principles of quality assurance when working with agricultural products, and biosecurity means that will extend into genetic modification, and where that kind of thing happens, it's usually regulated within most countries, and there are very specific requirements that have to be adhered to, and the ETS audit function then offers insight to the processes that have been engaged and offers credibility to those who are engaging them. Getting into the meat of the presentation, we need to talk about transfer of certification. Firstly, you need to recognize that certification transfer can only be mandated through these accredited IAF transfer arrangements, and I'll give you some insight to what that means in a moment. But as a point of departure, the transfer under the International Accreditation Forum's mandatory document number 2, this cannot take place unless both the issuing certification body and the receiving certification body are accredited by an IAF member. So that's a point of departure. And unless both certification bodies are correctly accredited, then the transfer is a little more technical, and I'll mention what that means in a moment. Why do organizations seek to transfer? Well, from my experience, they are usually a reactive decision, typically where the kind of service that's being offered is undesirable and unacceptable to you as a client. Your auditors are perhaps not auditing in the way that you would like them to, perhaps even acting unprofessionally, and there should be arrangements to deal with that as there are from Wynleigh. But the fact of the matter is, if you're dissatisfied with the service that you're getting from a certification body, you have the right to move that. And if they're an accredited certification body, it is less difficult than you would imagine. Interpretation of standards sometimes becomes subjective when the auditors are not necessarily trained in the standard and well versed in the content of the standard as they should be. And that's where accreditation should be playing a role in giving you the assurance that they are indeed credible and can deliver the kind of service that you're looking for. Nonetheless, if you are proactive about this and you have a desire to make a move, then the leadership aspect of this plays a significant role in that you would be guiding your organization into a level of credibility that should be investigated and understood for what it really is or should be. So what does transfer offer under the IAF's mandatory documents? So the rules that they've put forward, they demand that the accreditation body is able to witness and evaluate their certification bodies that they have accredited and witness the transfer of certification from one to another, making sure that all the rules are followed. Now, certification, for those that are maybe not that well informed, is a 3-year cycle, and that 3-year cycle is the stated validity of a management system certificate that is issued from an accredited certification body. ISO 17021 Part 1, which I spoke of earlier, requires that initial certification is a 2-part or 2-stage process, and that would be invoked for a new client coming on board to an accredited certification body. Why I speak of this topic is that when you transfer, a transfer is assuming that the 2 certification bodies are both accredited. It means that your certificate status does not change, only your certification body does, which means you don't go through an audit process in order to transfer accredited certification. Instead, there is typically a 1-day review of the issuing certification bodies' credibility and evidence that they provide of the same. We would look at what process the issuing certification body has implemented and provided the validity against all of the IAF mandatory requirements and other ISO accreditation requirements have been adhered to. We then absorb any associated risk and issue a new certificate under our name without doing an audit. That then falls into a process of invoking the next audit in the cycle. So if you're in a 3-year cycle, it's implied that you would be visited on an annual basis, and whatever the next annual audit is, presuming it's a recertification or a surveillance audit, we would then perform that at the appointed time, because there are rules as to the timeframes between audits, the durations of audits, and all that kind of thing. If the issuing certification body has not fulfilled their obligations correctly, we would be obliged to invoke a stage 1 and stage 2 initial audit. So the process is then a little more difficult, but not impossible to move from one to another. The cost obviously is escalated by the number of days of the stage 1 and stage 2 audit. And that's not a rule that we set out. That's a rule that is in the IAF MD2 that guides us on these processes. The purpose of our subsequent audit then is to look at your continuity, look at your credibility, and look at whichever standard it is that you're implementing and seeking certification against, that it gives you the kind of international credibility that you're paying for. So it can be quite a smooth process. If the certification body, and there are a couple of them that are not accredited but offering certification in South Africa, if you happen to find yourself with a certification body that has issued you with an ISO 9001 or 14 or 45 or 27001 certificate, and it does not bear the IAF logo on it, or it does not even bear an accreditation logo on it, then your certification body is not accredited, and the rules around that say that we need to start with a stage 1 or stage 1 and stage 2 audit as if you were a brand new client. But what that is doing then, if you were to take that step, is it's giving you the international credibility and the validation of all of the processes through the full accreditation that is offered by the accreditation body, who is a member of the IAF. All right, so we would hope that you would be able to simply do an easy transfer, and I'd be encouraging you to look into what services we offer. You'll see that we have a range of different testimonials that are from our clients published on our website across a wide range of industry sectors. And certainly, if you're interested in receiving the kind of service that is spoken about there, then I encourage you to pick up one of our application forms, which is available in the chat in the presentation here. It will also be distributed by Richard along with the content of these slides and associated notes, so that you're not having to rely on memory, but the process of transfer is known to you through the notes that are being provided as well. So my encouragement then is to gain the global recognition that you're looking for by joining us and receiving the services that Wynleigh International Certification Services is well known for. Just to repeat or reinforce, if you're receiving inconsistent audits where from one audit to the next, the auditors are perhaps focusing on different outcomes with the same evidence being presented, it's not what you deserve. There's another perspective also that causes organizations to transfer. Similar to the financial audits, from a governance perspective, if you keep the same auditors indefinitely, it means that they get familiar with your systems and they may not be as objective as they could be. And so we're well aware that businesses do change for that reason, that every 5 years they invoke their right to move to a different certification body simply to get a new pair of eyes on their system. We deal in part with the audit fatigue element by way of keeping at least one of the auditors consistent, so that you're not teaching new auditors how your system works every time you have an audit, but changing up part of the team then. So part of the team is consistent, part of the team is changing, and that allows, where it is particularly a large client, the opportunity for the new pair of eyes to come in whilst maintaining some level of consistency in the experienced auditor that's been with you before. We, through this approach and some of the other innovative schemes that we have introduced, aim to offer value add in every single audit. If you're not receiving that from our audits, you should be on the line to me directly to alert me so that I can do something about that. And I invite you at any time to do so. I work closely with the CEOs of all our clients in order to understand the level of service that we offer. Every report will have a customer feedback link where we require that you give us feedback because your journey must be an excellent service. In spite of the fact that we are auditors, we are still offering a service, and that service needs to add value to your organization. To take the step of joining us, we will guide you through the transition process, through the transfer process. We will keep you appraised of any areas of concern that we might have so that you can address them in advance and provide us with the information that we require. Essentially, a transfer, according to the mandatory document of the IAF, is no longer than a day. The process would follow a very distinct set of requirements set out by the IAF, and it's simply a review of what work has been done to gain new certification from your existing certification body. We then also invoke our governance approach, wherein we're at the transfer, we'll start looking at what your business processes are, how complex they are, what risks they carry, and start designing an audit program for the 3-year cycle to ensure that we focus on value add whilst complying with all these rules that I speak of. But very importantly, giving you the kind of feedback that's going to create a sustainable organization that is through the value add that we offer. If I may say then, we offer accredited certification. We can therefore speak about certification transfer with credibility. You can check these details by downloading a copy of IAF MD2 from the IAF website as well, or you can approach SANAS, who also have similar rules set out and can avail you of any information to support what I'm saying today. What this would offer you then is reciprocity with other accredited certification bodies, thus keeping us to account and ensuring that the service that we offer is indeed what you're looking for. Please be aware, of course, that our certification auditors book up sometimes a year in advance. So it is important that you, in making a transfer, indicate to us when your next audit is due so that we can plan that accordingly and minimize the associated risks so that we audit you in good time and allow you the opportunity to close any major non-conformities, should there be any, within the due period before expiry of your certificate. So please feel free to fill in the application form or simply to call and have a discussion with us so that we can establish exactly what your requirements are and design a program to fit those. So I hope that this has given you a new insight to what a transfer is all about. Please look in the chat. You'll see the application form there. Otherwise, we'll be sending that out to you. You're under no obligation. We can give you a quote on what that looks like as well. So there's no obligation. It is a free quote that you can then use to make an informed decision about what you want to do. But do think seriously about the credibility of the certification bodies that you work with, that they're able to offer you this kind of information, and are able to give you the kind of service that you're looking for, as I've described in the previous slides. Without further ado then, thank you for your engagement today. Thank you for listening. And I'd like you to pose any questions that you might have so that you can clarify, even without an offline discussion at this time, exactly what it is that you're concerned about, so that we can address that in the company of your colleagues and others that are listening. And just be aware, of course, that last round in our presentation of this nature, we were talking about leadership insights. And at that time, we made an offer that people could contact us to discuss the implications of leadership across the different standards that we work with, and essentially establish how ready they are in advance of their next audit. And that was a free interview with your top management. It's not a consultation exercise. It's not offering help in developing your management system. It's simply guiding on the topic of leadership and commitment, and ensuring that your top management are in the right space. So that's still available to you. We have had a number of organizations invoke that option, and that's been an interesting discussion, and it leads to all kinds of different informed decisions on the part of the client. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm now open to questions. Richard, have you got any questions in the chat, perhaps? The back office team, do you have any questions in the chat?
Hi, Tony. I think Richard's mic was off, or maybe not connected there. There doesn't seem to be any questions on the chat here. I'm just going to have a look at the Q&A quickly. There aren't any questions, but that means that you've just done a stellar job again in explaining the content of transferring of certification.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the team in the back office, as it were, that make these things happen and provide the platform and opportunity to talk to you as our prospective and actual clients about these different topics. Please, as always, feel free to contact me and engage. I'm always grateful to speak to like-minded people about the subject matter associated with these standards. So please feel free on that front. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful afternoon, and thank you for joining us all.
Thanks so much, Tony. See, somebody's got their hands up. Quentin has a hand up. Quentin, do you want to go ahead with your question?
Quentin, you'll need to unmute.
Sorry, Quentin. I think you should be able to unmute now. Apologies. I see the settings on the Teams meeting. It ran me astray there, but Quentin, you should be able to unmute.
So it was you. It was you. Quentin, can you ask your question, please?
Yes, Tony, I think I posted my question under the chat box. It can be read out, but I just wanted to know, since you talk about transfer of certification, is it also possible that in your first year of certification, because I joined in a bit late, maybe you might have already covered that point. So I wanted to know if ever during your first year of your certification, can you still transfer certification in your first year of certification?
The International Accreditation Forum documents do not specify when in the process you need to do the transfer. So from immediately after being certified by your what they call an issuing certification body, and any time thereafter. So whether it's in the first week or the first year or towards the end of your third year, it doesn't really matter. The transfer can take place. And the main prerequisite is that you're moving from one accredited certification body to another. If you're not with an accredited certification body, I would encourage you anyway to move to one. It would require that you undergo a stage 1 and stage 2 initial audit according to the requirements of ISO 17021. But that is the process, and you can do it at any time after gaining certification, and it does not require an audit. It is simply a transfer to a new certification body. So if you have ISO 14001 in place, you'd be issued with 14001 by the new certification body. If you're moving to Wynleigh, we'd issue the certificate immediately, provided all of the requirements have been satisfied by your current certification body. Hopefully that answers your question, Quinton.
Yes, just to follow up also on that. Let's say in a scenario where we want to expand, the business is going through an expansion. Maybe would love you guys to maybe, let's say we are moving from Pretoria to Cape Town. Is it still possible for you guys to now, would it require for you guys to do stage 1 and stage 2 if ever we're moving to a new location, different from the one that we were initially audited on?
If you're already certified and the main company that is certified is able to do a scope extension, what you could do is a transfer and then a scope extension without necessarily doing the stage 1 and stage 2. So it depends entirely on your circumstance that you find yourself in. I think what would be worthwhile is if we get in contact with you and have a discussion about your needs, and we can then even generate a quotation so that you can see how competitive our pricing is, and we can take things from there.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thanks, Quinton. Christina, you've got Quinton's details, have you?
We will have that via the registration form that you've completed, Quinton. So we'll definitely be in touch with you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Anyone else with a question? Okay, it sounds like all questions are answered. Fairly straightforward. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody, for attending. We do appreciate your cooperation and your attendance. Post the session, I will distribute the transfer form. I see the teams won't allow for data security reasons, so I'll share that via email, as well as a bit of a handout from the session with summarizing the points that were discussed this afternoon. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Tony for the presentation, and have a wonderful afternoon further, everyone.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Thanks all.
Hi, everyone. Bye.